Hey, everybody. Boy, let me tell you what. Okay, so if you were in here, like Hal, Matt, some of you, Eric, there's quite a few Erics last time, but if you were in my last live last week, which is also rare, I'm getting like back-to-back weekly live streams here. But if you were a part of it, I started it out with an apology about these stupid fucking bots. I don't know if I'm more pissed off at them right now or if I'm more pissed off at YouTube. I'm going to tell you everything I do to get rid of them. If you have your channel or if you see it on other channels, I mean, if you Google the message me on or text me on Telegram, that message that they give you when they're scamming you. If you type that in your search for YouTube, you'll see so many channels that they've attached themselves to, and even like the huge channels. I saw iJustine on there. She's a huge channel. So you can only imagine what kind of crap she's dealing with compared to me on my small channel, and it's enough to stress me out. But YouTube can kiss my ass because they don't protect channels. They don't do any of the things that they implement that or the tools they give us to combat this crap. Pretty much doesn't work. But let's start off with a cold one. Today we are drinking Easy Ringer by Victory IPA. I have not had this one. It's actually been sitting in the fridge for a little while. It's got a limey smell to it. Limey. Easy Ringer. I don't know how to explain this one, but it's good. It's really good. Yeah, I don't know what to compare it to. There's a party going on in my mouth right now, and not like you're thinking. I'm going to try not to insult people. I don't know what country some of you guys are from. I mean, I know a lot of you are here in the U.S., and then most people in the U.K. are probably put to bed right now. But those aren't the countries I'm going to offend. It's more of your countries where these kind of scams come from. They have nothing better to do. They have no good income. They live in straw houses made with mud and straw, and the only wire coming to their house is their internet connection, and their biggest piece of furniture is probably a crate, and they're sitting there on the computer scamming us. Doug, I saw your comment that you almost got scammed. I'm not testing your intelligence here, but if anybody almost gets scammed by these people, I have to also ask you, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? For one, am I going to do a giveaway and announce it to you from another channel? That's your first dead ringer. That's a good name for this beer. Easy Ringer is the name of the beer. So that's your first Easy Ringer right there. That it comes from another channel. I would not ask anybody to text me on Telegram. That's your second Easy Ringer. And I don't use a whole bunch of emojis and all that. I'll use one or two emojis. Usually on my symbols are always peace, love, thumbs up. That's what you'll pretty much get from me every time. I don't give you all this other crap. But these aren't just bots. These are humans behind the keyboards. And they are paying attention to your channel because they do look at some of the things you write in your description and stuff like that. They do know about the title of your, got a hair. They do know about your title of your video that they're hitting on, but they're always hitting on videos that are like a year old. Or I wouldn't do a giveaway on a video that's a year older or longer. You know, most of these are very old videos. So that's your other dead easy ringer. So you really should not be falling for these scams, but unfortunately, and Doug, again, I'm not testing your intelligence because you're not the only one. I get slammed with messages. I really appreciate it, everybody. I appreciate it, but please don't message me. I know this is going on, and I owe you a big apology, because not only is this something where if you fall for it, they're going to ask you for money, and I'll explain all that. Exactly how their little scam works. And I did try to, I played along with them, using a fake, I did a fake account and gave them a fake email. And the end result was money that I did not give them. But you can't fall for this kind of stuff. We live in a world of scams, so just don't, the thing is, just don't fall for it. But go through real quick and just say hey to everybody, 30 people in here, and then I'm going to explain to you exactly what I've done to combat this, what they do in trying to scam you, and then you know, where I think the sources are coming from and so forth. Really, I'll just say that now. I feel like it's coming from like places in India. I mean, if you sit here and Google, where the top scams come from, top 10 countries the scams come from, Pakistan, Brazil, South Africa, Romania, Venezuela, Indonesia, and then the list goes on. Or it could be Reprint Robbie Gray, down there in Thailand, with his in-laws. His in-laws are probably sitting in their little hut on their computer scamming everybody on these channels. You guys know who I'm talking to if you're talking about Reprint Robbie, because he's always in for a buck and making money, and he does have some sort of internet business. So this might be it. So beware of Robbie Gray. But going through roll call. And I will have Chad with me tonight. I told him I'll bring him in a little bit later, so he's not in there yet, but I'm going to go through my rant first and then bring him in, because you know Chad, he'll sit there and doze off. So we got to keep Chad awake. Right now he's doing his exercises, getting his blood flowing so he doesn't fall asleep. But Hal 9000. Hello, Dave. Doug Troyer, Matt Bagwell, Armin, I don't know what your last name is there. I'm just going to say Colominian. Sorry, that's an A. And glad to see that you sold your quad and you went with the Air 2S. I did ask the question, everybody, what is the main drone that you fly? Marcel, how you doing, buddy? Arkansas Ray, Arkansas. I always want to say Arkansas. Arkansas Ray, Eric Van Nostrand, Trainman 24, Sky Captain, welcome. Terry Neil Booth, welcome. Some new faces or names or ones that haven't been here for a while. Mark Trotter, Chris Wedgeworth, how you doing, guys? Gasket Mike, Peter James Dowling, how you doing? David Reynolds, just kicking it, and oh boy, Pete. I'm just gonna say P-Tech IB Drones. I don't know. There's something maybe silent there, but anyhow, always apologize when I get your name wrong. Shame on you. You should make it easier for me. Al Torres and Michael Belsh And Thomas Baker, aka TEB Drone Flyer. I always want to say the Drone Flyer. And Justice League, and Philip Sears, and wow, we got quite a bit of new names in here. Welcome. Good. Thank you, Armin. I nailed it. I'll only nail it once. I'm not going to say it many times because I'll get it wrong. Once I say it so many times, I mess it up. And I do that with Akira Show whenever I say that name too much. Mark Trotter, Matt Bagwell, I already got you, I think. Jeff Platts, George Kelly, and Fly Zone Drone, and Maddie's Drone Word, Peekaboo, and Drone Catalyst. I like that name. Russell Glelrum, I'm sorry, Russell, welcome. Patrick Waxmunksky, I'm going to start calling you Whack. Patrick Whack. And Joel Shepard, welcome. Glad you could make it. Kingpin, and that's everybody. All right, so let's just get into my rant and get that over with, and we'll bring my brother of another color in the house. But what I've done to combat these, I can show you if my phone would show up, but of course my phone won't show up. You can kind of see my little granddaughter there, but when I show you my text messages and stuff, you won't see that. But somebody did share with me just the messages they got, and it was all their notifications and like 6 notifications, at least what they could fit on their screenshot, all from this damn text me at Telegram and blah blah blah. So they do it what they do is I'll block them, and here's one of the ways you can combat them. So I'm going to pull it up and see the names. They did three different ones got him. Now, text me on Telegram with this symbol here, QC_guy. So I blocked that one, and then after a while they realize their messages aren't going through. You block them. So what they do is they do text me at Telegram, or text me on Telegram with the @ symbol QC_guy. And then, no, that's a new mic. That's a new phone mic. Insurance. So then you block that one. Then they come up with text me on Telegram at the @ symbol QC_guy. So there's 3 of them right there. Especially the on. There's a ringer for you. Don't fall for that one. But all of those have been blocked, and then they just come up with another one. They'll throw in another type of symbol or something like that, and then I just continue to block them. So that does work, but like I said, they come right back with something else. So what you have to do is then go into, I'm going to do it without my screenshot because I don't want to share my personal information, but if you go into YouTube Studio, and once you open YouTube Studio, you go down into your settings. If I'm showing you this, I'm showing you personal stuff that I don't want to share. And then once you've clicked settings, you go into community. So once you're in community, you scroll on down to the bottom, and then they have a section where you can type in blocked words. So these are keywords. If you put these keywords in there, anybody that has a message, or in this case, the title of their name, matches one of those keywords, then they will be flagged and they'll be put in a holding for my review. And then from there, I can block them, report them, and delete them. So It's one way I've gone about combating this. So I won't tell you all my keywords that I use, because if they watch this kind of stuff, then they'll know my keywords I use. But it should be very obvious. If you want to block them, it should be very obvious what you block. But be careful the words you do use, because if it's a very common word that people would use in a chat or something, or a comment or something like that, theirs is going to get flagged, and then you have to review it and approve it or delete it. So that's what it is. Once it's flagged, it goes in for held for review, and then from there on, it's up to you what you do with it. You can click the check mark, and then it goes right into where everybody can view it on the original comment section it was intended for, or you can delete it. You can hide the person from your channel. You can report them to YouTube and so forth, block them. So that's one way of doing it. So I did that, and it doesn't seem to be grabbing them. It's caught some, but it's not catching all of them. And the ones that are getting through have the keywords that I'm using. So this is where YouTube is failing and not protecting its channels, and this is what frickin' pisses me off the most. So then you go into defaults, which is under that same window. It's just a tab. Click defaults. So the section I'm at right now in my YouTube channel is hide all comments for review. So every single person that comments on my channel is going to go into review, which just creates a lot more work for me, and it's a bunch of bullshit. I have reported all of these. I've blocked all these. I have written letters and given screenshots to YouTube and given them a good piece of my mind about how they're not protecting the channels that are actually making them money. Not that I'm a big channel making them money, but their ads are playing on my channel, and everybody's channel for that matter now. But that's another system that so far does not seem to be working. So far, some comments, I've tested it with a few people. They've commented on videos, and the comment has come right through on a notification. It hasn't blocked it for my review. So I don't know if it takes 24 hours for those settings to take or whatever. But so far, at this time right now, the past few hours, I have gotten 0 comments on my channel. So maybe they are going into a review. I haven't checked. But that's a whole nother thing. That's just a complete pain in the ass now, that I even have to go through and do that. So let me get out of that. And so, you know, if you see it, don't even, I mean, last time I told you, report it. You know, you can click report, and YouTube's got a shoddy, shitty service as far as, you know, giving you choices, just like Facebook. Whatever you report, it never comes back anything. And then as soon as you get political, that's when you get your channel or your Facebook page blocked or put on suspension, stuff like that. So all I can tell you is stay away from text me on Telegram, QC guy. Don't just ignore it. I will catch it eventually. I do appreciate the messages coming to me. But these little fuckers that live in their little grass huts or their little cardboard houses out in the middle of some desert or wherever the fuck they are, I would love to get my hands on them, because what happens in the end is I text them on Telegram. They go through this whole thing, and it makes you sick the whole time, because the game that they're sitting there playing. And I waited till, what I did is I just waited to the very end and, you know, said, okay, you know, I'm ready. I kind of strung them along just to get them to talk a little bit. And I waited towards the end and then said, okay, how much for shipping? So they asked for an address, and I was like, oh shit. So I gave them a fake address, and I gave them a business address. So right street, wrong number. But they gave me, with shipping, my free prize was a DJI drone, an Air drone. They didn't say Air 2, Air 2S or anything like that. But my free prize was that, and I was going to have to pay like it was close to $150 shipping. So That's what they're doing to people. They are getting you to pay for shipping that's an outrageous price because you're thinking, I'm going to get $1,000 product or a $500 product or whatever, and you're willing to pay that kind of money. There are people obviously paying that money because the scam has been going on for a long time. And it is a ton of YouTube channels out there. So, then asking what type of payment can I pay with. They want Zelle or I think it was Apple Pay. Was it? No. I forget what it was now. Zelle was one of them. They would not take Venmo, and they would not take PayPal. PayPal owns Venmo, so they would not take any of that because you're protected. So you can bust them. So I guess with Zelle, I don't have Zelle. I guess with Zelle, it's easy to get ripped off, and Zelle doesn't cover your back. So if you use Zelle, don't use Zelle, I would say, because they're letting you pay these scammers, and then you can't get your money back most likely, or they wouldn't use it. So he tried to get me to open up an account to make that payment, and then that's when I just told him that he's being reported, and it's my channel, and I am QC guy, and a few French words. So, but the whole thing is a bunch of bullshit, and here's what pisses me off. Besides it getting people and almost scamming them, is it kills my channel. I mean, I can tell my channel. I can have a channel. When I publish a video, I can have a video with even lower views and have a whole bunch of comments. Generally, my videos do generate a decent amount of comments from what I see on other people's videos on channels my size. And that's what I love most about my subscribers. And the comments have cut way down on anything I put out. And I'm sure people are turning off notifications. I obviously want some views on my channel. I hate putting out something and I only get like 200 views. Fortunately, that doesn't really happen, but I'll sit there at 200 for a while, or it'll take me a while to get to 200, where I used to get up to 500, boom, like that. Next day, I would have over 1,000 views on something because I have loyal subscribers, but I know a lot of people are probably turn off the fucking notifications. This guy's driving me crazy. He can't control his damn channel. So I don't blame anybody for that, but please know I am working on it. If you have turned off notifications, I don't blame you one bit. It's a shame. I hate that, because especially when I do a live, I do want people to show up, which fortunately you guys do, but I can even tell with my live, last live, this live, I'm running around 30, where normally my lives, last minute live, sharing it in a handful of places on Facebook, I'll have 60 people in my lives. So I do think that a lot of people have turned off notifications. But that being said, I want to real quick hit a few people that probably popped in that I didn't catch, and I'm not going to get you all, but I don't, like I said before last week, I don't like to spend a whole lot of time doing this, but Travel Canada's in here, Gene Fox is in here, and I'm just going to hit these bottom ones. JC Flying's in here, and Tom Tomas, and I'm going to stop there, and that's it. So let's bring in Mr. Chad B. You ready, brother? He is ready. I'm not ready. I got to put in my earbud. I didn't hear it go ding, but we'll find out when he gets in here.
Hey.
Yep, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Okay. I can hear you.
Loud and clear? Okay, nice.
Are the windows the way you like it, or would you prefer to be like that?
No, I don't. Yeah, that's cool. Be all up in my grill. What's going on?
Hold on a second. Oops. I was going to fuck with you and make it all you, but I thought that window... What happened to that window? How come I can't make it all you?
I don't know. It's all right. You don't need to. What's going on, Dennis, David Reynolds, Gene Fox, Eric Von Nostrum, Maddie?
All right, I already said hello to
Yes,
all of
give
them.
Mike.
They're not here for you,
No,
Chad.
I'm
They
just
don't
saying hi
care
to
about
everybody. Since they're
you. They don't want to see you. I only brought you in to be nice. There
yeah,
now
I'm saying hi to
now
them since
since
they saying hi to me. You know.
now since you
JC,
haven't been on
what's
for a little
going on,
while,
man?
I get to abuse you for a little bit. Um,
Joel Shepard. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, and I heard that little.
everybody get your hellos in. Hello, Chad. Hello, Chad. Hello, Chad. Everybody, hurry up. Say it now, all at once. Boom.
And I heard that little
Hugs,
sleepy
kisses,
crack.
all that.
That sleepy crack that you made. I heard that.
Have you watched a replay, Chad?
Which replay?
Have you watched any replay of ours?
Just that one time. It was just one time.
You doze into La La
only
Land
one time.
sometimes.
It was just one time. It was just, that's all it was. It was just one time, man. It was a long day, and you know what I mean. So
Excuses.
all
All right, everybody stop your hellos and answer my original question that I gave you earlier in the chat. What is the quad you fly the most? I don't care how many quads you have. I don't want to know what all those quads are. Which is your favorite? Which one do you use the most? That has to do with your giveaways tonight. So, I wanted to ask you, have you been hit with any of these?
Yeah, I think a little over a month ago or something, I was getting hit. But I had my notifications on, my YouTube Studio notifications. So every time I got a message or whatever, I would, a lot of them I couldn't catch, but
yeah, they hit so fast, you'll get like 2 or 3 notifications, but in reality they've hit like 20 times. But as soon as you block that one, they all go away.
Yeah.
But so you've been hit with it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much everybody. It doesn't matter how big or small your channel is. What I notice is like when you have a popular video, or something out there that's popular, they'll hit that, because I
think that might be why they're hitting older videos of mine too.
Yeah.
And they're hitting so many people, and it's like some of these people that have popped up, asking me, hey Chris, is this a scam? I haven't. They haven't been active on my channel for about a year probably, and it's like all of a sudden, they think they won something. No, you've been dead on my channel. The video is dead. You didn't win anything. That's the one thing. So
yeah. And like you said, old videos, because they think that you're not going to go back and check your videos back, from years ago or
right.
a year ago. So, but yeah, this is just crazy how they just constantly doing this, and YouTube seem like they can't do anything about it. I mean,
well, here's the first thing. Here's the first thing, YouTube. How about anybody that starts a channel that says, text me on Telegram? Mm-hmm. How about you just automatically have that as, no, we can't. We just make it so they think they have a channel, but they have no, they're typing on people's channels in the comments, and they can see their comment, but nobody else can. They're ghosted. Yeah. Let them have their account, but let them just be ghosted, because if you make it so they can't, they're just going to come up with another way. Then we're going to have to deal with that till YouTube blocks that. But still, I mean, they should be able to grab these guys quick and kill their channels to where it's like, make them frickin' work harder, because right now they can just create a damn channel and they can hit everybody like boom. And it seems to be drones are a big thing. I mean, they're hitting everything, cooking channels, everything from what I saw. But I see a lot of familiar drone channels as I was just going through the list. I don't know if you heard me. She's not just a drone channel. She reviews everything under the sun. But Justine, can you only imagine how many she deals with, if if she even checks or does her messages. She's so big,
Yeah.
she's at that point where you can't keep up with the comments, or you hire somebody to do that for you.
Exactly.
But still, I mean, that just shows how much they're going after people. And it's complete fucking bullshit. I'm sick of it. I mean, I've been putting out a little more videos than normal. Actually being on time with things that I've promised people, that are like, free will filters. I'm actually on time with a video for once. Tony didn't have to email me and say, "Where's your video?"
Yeah.
So you feel good putting out some content, but then this happens. And it's like, I don't want to do any more content. I don't want to put out another video. You get sick of it. Not saying I want to quit YouTube, but it's no fun. It's absolutely no fun. Every time you open your phone, there's a message from somebody or a notification about one of these fuckers, and it completely pisses me off. And the biggest thing is, YouTube, you fucking suck. You suck. You do not take care of any channels. It's the same as Facebook. You sit there and complain about somebody. If somebody does something like, I'll give you an example. What was his name? Oh fuck, I forgot his name now. Somebody made a picture, took one of my family pictures off my Facebook profile, and it was me, my wife, and my boys. We were at a bar, and somebody, we stood and somebody took our picture. Peter Martin. He was a Hubson guy from UK. He took a picture. Now, he made it kind of blurry, but it was very clear enough to see it was me and my family and what was going on in this picture. And what he did is he took a Photoshop of a lower half of a woman with her legs spread and put that on the bottom half of my wife, and then with a woman in between her legs. What? On Facebook. Reported it. It stayed there for the longest damn time.
What?
Go and say something political. Like right now, Jackie Akers is in timeout on Facebook. And they've gone through and deleted some political stuff that is old on her Facebook. That's the only thing she can think of. And they've put her in timeout, and so far the only thing she can think of is it's political stuff. So they want to look like they're really not part of swaying people to vote one way or another and screw with elections. But when it comes to your personal stuff against you, which is just really bad. Absolutely nothing. I mean, hell, there's practically pornography with young girls on Facebook. Some of this shit you see. So same with YouTube. I mean, you report it, nothing. You get nothing. They give you these lame ass things to select from that have nothing to do with what you're reporting. You pick the closest thing that you think might match. They don't give you any room to really type something somewhere. You do the contact me, and you might hear back from them through an email, and you might not. And if you do, it might be a week or so. So the same thing I went through when I had all those channel strikes. The beginning of it, I was running right down to the deadline. I'm like, come on, nobody's responding, really? You're just gonna leave me hanging? And that's what they do. So
money.
Yeah, that's all. It's just, we're sitting here, pretending like, oh, YouTube's a great thing. Look what it's got us. I got my channel, and I get to do this, and I make a little bit of money. No, they're laughing. They give us this platform, and they're making a ton of fucking money, of money, and especially off these channels that aren't even getting paid now that they're putting ads on channels that aren't even monetized.
Yeah.
So they're making money off you, and people have to watch your ads. And I'm an anti-ad person. I know you put ads in throughout your videos. You'll have an ad or two, but I don't do any ads in the middle of my videos. I can't stand watching people's videos unless that ad's in the exact right place. 'Cause sometimes it's perfect where you're like, okay, I don't mind waiting. I got to a point where it's like a cliffhanger, but sometimes it's in a point where it's like, oh, fuck this, and I click off their channel. I go off. I don't watch the video.
Yeah, I try to place those things like right if I'm moving on to another subject or something.
Right. Yeah.
I'll try to put it right
so
there.
Yeah, so it's like here, so here's how you put on the filter, and so next we're going to get into the footage, and then boom, it goes into an ad. That's fine. And then when that ad's over, you're right into the flight footage. Something like that. That's fine. And you know me in doing extra work, and that creates extra work having to do placeholders for those damn things. So I'd rather not have an ad in there. You don't make enough money at this size on YouTube to really matter. Those ads being in there versus those ads being out, I'm not seeing a big difference at all. So I'm happy not to have them in there, and I hope my subscribers are happy not to have to watch any, because I sit there and I talk and I talk and I talk and I fucking talk and I fucking talk and I talk and I talk and I talk and I fucking talk, and then you get to see 4 minutes of a video.
Oh my gosh.
Which is true. But you know what? If I don't explain things, then I get the question after question after question, and it's like, God, this is why I like to just explain things. If you just don't like it, hit that arrow where it goes 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. That's what I do when I'm watching a video. Like I've even told you, I watched your video until you got to the tutorial part, and then when I'm watching the tutorial part, I'm going ding 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 ding, because I know if I want to do that, I can go back and watch that tutorial later. But I'm not going to comment, Jesus, Chad, you spent enough time on this, blah, 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 So I get that. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I talk too freaking much, or I put them to sleep. Sometimes it's a compliment saying my voice was very soothing and helped them through the tutorial I was showing. That's when people like my voice, when I'm doing a how-to video of replacing a leg or something, or soldering. They like my voice. It's very calming and soothing to them.
Yeah.
I get that comment often in how-tos. But Eddie Nunez, how you doing? So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't in that area. But I get so worked up over it, and I was going to just go on a complete frickin' just mad rant of just hardly being able to breathe in between words. But where I was going with it with these other countries and stuff, I really would have offended some people, I think. And I shouldn't do that. I should not do that. So just because it's from, and it's from, that it's not coming from Chicago. It's coming from some of these other countries. That's what they do. That's where all these customer service centers are. That's the big employment of these companies. Scamming and call centers. And I was going to be really mean, but just because you're from that country doesn't mean you're associated in that. And that's the type of thing that's the type of thing I should stay away from. So I'm glad I didn't go that route, because I would have rewatched it and really felt like a big ass. So
you had to cut some things out.
Yeah, so. No, I don't cut stuff out. So I only, what did I cut? I've cut something out before in the middle of a video. It was something, but the only other thing I ever cut is when we went over, when I did it for our live where we went over, and I cut it so it was at 1 hour.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well, my past few lives, I haven't even had to do that, because I actually stayed within an hour on 2 lives in a row, or just over. So, well, it's because I didn't have you in there running your mouth. I mean, you talk so damn much.
Yeah, I talk a lot.
We always go over an hour.
Yeah.
And you argue with me, and.
Oh,
this is a really good beer. I have never had this flavor before, but I don't even know what to call this. Drinking crisp and light with a little brightness and tons of hop character. Notes of passion fruit and citrus. Wow, the crowd at a refreshing 4.3. So it's alcohol rating of 4. Alcohol volume of 4.3. It's the Victory IPAs that I've been drinking.
Oh, really?
And they have all these different flavors and these goofy names. Skywalker was one of them. Brotherly Love was one of them. Whatever the sour one was I had. And then Easy Ringer. And it's nice. Got some horseshoes and a peg on it. And nice. It's an Easy Ringer. It's good.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have a beverage with me, but just actually okay. Drink alcohol. It makes me sleepy. So
let me give some stuff away. I'm not going to make anybody jump through hoops or anything. This is used. This is all used stuff, but my stuff is used but not abused. If you watched when I announced my November giveaways, I said I was going to give some ND filters away. I have asked you guys what your top drones are that you fly for a reason, and that's just because I want to see who flies what. If you do not have one of these drones, please do not accept a giveaway. Please don't do that. If you already have ND filters for your drone, please do not accept it. If you've only got 1 or 2 filters and I'm giving you a pack of 9 filters in this case for this one, that's an easy accept. But if you've already got 6 or 7 filters or whatever, please don't accept this. The beer's very, very, very belchy as well. So breathe, Chris, breathe. Yes. That's what I owe you. That was pretty good, Mike, because that's what I always do. Like at work or something, if I get into a moment, I'm like, I just look at the person or whatever, and when they're expecting me to be stressed out, I just go home. I am going to go back up here real quick where I asked, and Chad, I owe you an apology. You weren't here last week, but the week before, I was calling you Schultz or Schwartz or something like that. I realized it afterwards. I watched the replay. No, Chad from Bedford County.
Okay.
It's Schwarz, I think, is what it is. It's Swarze, I think, is how he spells his name. I can't remember, but I was like Schwartz or Schultz or something. I think I called him Schultz, and I apologize. So for now on, I'm just going to call you Bedford. Bedford's like right down the highway for me. Like he's very, very close to me. He's not far from me at all. Like,
is that Bedford County aerial views? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to scroll up here, and maybe I should just ask who wants them, and you tell me if you have this drone. And then, so I'm going to go through each one separately, but one I wasn't planning on giving away, and I actually do have filters for it. And even if you have filters for it, you might want more because they're the stick-on filters. But I see John, where'd he put it at? John was saying his Xeno is what he flies. His Xeno 1.
What?
John Carroll, his Xeno 1. Is that what you're flying the most?
No, it's not.
He's got a Mavic. He's got a Mavic Air 2 or... Yeah, he's got a Nevada.
I think he crashed it in the lake, though. I don't know. Did he? I saw a video or something.
I don't know. I didn't see that. But anyhow...
Yeah.
Let's go with the very first ones. The biggest of all. Let's go with 9 filters. The DJI Mavic Air. So if that's what you have and that's what you need filters with, please have a conscience, please have some morals. I'm going to take your word for it. The Air 2. You have the freewheel variables, CPL, and the variables are, I don't want to pull them all out, but what are they, Chad? Do they start with 4 or 8?
2 to 5 stop, 6 to 9 stop. Two to five and 6 to 9.
I'm not pulling them. They're on the front.
Yeah.
No, they're the ND8 polarized, the ND16 polarized, the ND13 polarized, and the ND64 polarized. I apologize. And then a CPL, ND1000, and you have just a standard ND, probably 8, 16, and 32, I think.
So no variables, you saying?
No, I thought these were my variables.
Oh, okay.
Those went with the drone.
Yeah.
When I sold the drone, I gave some away. Patrick has your filter set, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Nice little deal there with the Air 2.
How many are in that filter set you gave him?
It was 2 variables.
That was
2
it?
to 5 and 6 to 9. Well, 2 to 5, 6 to 9. That'll cover you for pretty much everything.
Yeah, but that still lets him put in. He can still qualify to put in for this. So was it just him that said it? Because I had my head down. Tom's got the Mini 2.
Did he put in for it?
David Reynolds, Air 2. Yeah, David Reynolds could use Air 2 filters. And Mark's already got them. Chad, how many do you have? You can tell me how many you have. Patrick, he says he's good. Patrick, if those don't work for you, feel free. I mean, you're not being greedy if you only have a couple, even though those will cover you. We're all not pros like Chad to where we exactly know how to use our filters like that.
Oh, my gosh.
Those are high-tech filters.
Patrick is a pro.
He does actually shoot for the paper, so.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with like I've said when I announce this, I am not always like random on doing a name scroll thing. I might just pick favorites. You might be just the sweetest person in the chat at the moment, and I'm gonna be like, you know what, you hit the right spot where I like you today, and I want to give you something. But somebody who has been with my channel for a long time, who has been a follower of mine for a long time on Facebook, somebody who I have known for a long time, never met the person, but has always been just a very, very kind person. So for that type of person that has always been very supportive of me, and I know I'm not an easy person. If you've been with me throughout the years, I'm not an easy person to support, but because sometimes a lot of drama comes with me. But David Reynolds, they're yours.
Nice.
So David Reynolds, you've got the Air 2 filters.
Congrats, David.
So that means I like you, David. That means I like you. Feel a little bit of honor there. Be honored. And then let's go with, I saw somebody, only one person put this drone in. I was going to ask if they have it.
Mini 2?
No. Evo 2 or the Light Plus. You can use these filters. Mm-hmm. So there was an Evo 2 person in here. Only one person said Evo 2. If you need filters, only if you need filters, throw it out there. Evo 2 or the Light Plus. Same exact filter. That person might have been like, you know what? These guys are going to be giving out all DJI shit.
Mhm.
I'm out of here. All right. I don't see him, and I'm not going back through the chat unless you want to, but if he's not listening right now, shame on him. That's not the kind of winner we want in here, right, guys? Who's got a Osmo Action 2? Anybody got an Osmo Action 2 where you need filters? It's just 3 filters, but I have the original UV lens that comes with it as well, because when I broke my camera, I did not have that on, which you should always at least have that on if you don't have an ND filter attached. So it's that main UV screw-on.
You mean the Osmo Action, the regular one?
I'm sorry, not two. Yes, thank you, Chad. See, that's what I needed you here. The original Osmo Action, and then you have 3 ND filters.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the original Osmo Action, see, I'm going to drop this too, and squeezing it tight, you need these filters. I've got them. So I'm just going to say it, and Thomas, I'm thinking it's Tomas, unless he's Tom Thomas, but you just say
Tom Baker.
Osmo Action. You're not telling me you have them.
So you got Thomas Baker and Tom.
Say I need these filters for the Osmo Action.
That's what you say you want.
Like I don't like, one just says Osmo Action, one says I have that. So I don't know if you have the Osmo Action or if you have these. You know what I mean? Okay,
Yeah.
Tom
Yes,
needs them. Tom needs them, and we're gonna wait. Thomas Baker,
He
do you
needs
need
them
them? Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Thomas Baker's been with me longer. I'm pretty sure Thomas. I'm going to. Should I do a number?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to write down a number. I'll make it easy for the two of you. Or do you want to write down a number, Chad?
I'll
You
put a
want-
number in the chat, in the private chat there.
Okay. Which I
are
always
you gonna
forget
give
to
me
look at. Oh, just keep it easy. Nope, don't you go putting in numbers, Mike, or the rest of you.
Do you have a range or anything?
1 through 20. Just keep it simple.
Okay.
1 through 20.
Okay.
And I'm gonna write down David Reynolds.
All right. It's in the private chat.
Okay. Okay. All right, guys, go ahead now. The two of you each get one guess. And Tom gets it. Yeah, Tom gets it. 12. Is that what you said? 12?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what you said. 12.
Yeah. Is he close? I guess he's closer. Yeah, I guess he is.
Yeah. Let me go back where I was. Was at 5, and then where's
Well,
Thomas?
Tom.
Yeah, Thomas said 5, so, and Tom said 17, so
Yeah.
he's 5 off where Thomas is further off.
Yeah.
It's funny though. We have Thomas and Thomas going for the filters. All right, Osmo Action to Thomas. I guess you do Thomas, so you can do like it's Tom, short for Thomas, but I like Tomas. So I'm always going to call you Tomas. I think I've always called him Tomas. Tom Tomas. Okay. And that's it. He is Osmo Action. And then he is Air 2. All right. And then anybody, the Evo 2, and the Evo 2, what is that, 6K, and the Osmo Action. The Autel. I need more beer.
Autel Light. Light Plus.
The Autel, Light Plus. So both those 6K, same camera, same lens, blah blah blah. Yeah, I get it, Mike. Kind of like Christopher. It's just funny to do your channel name like that. Like, I don't know. All right, so those are the filters for that, and then of course I've got the Osmo. That's why that was in my head, because I wanted to remember to tell people about the Osmo Action. I do have the Osmo Action filters, and that's going to be the wide angle and the anamorphic, along with the ND filters that come with that. Once I am done with them, so I'm not going to do them tonight. I don't know that I'm going to do any more content, but I do want to do a few more things with them.
So you're going to give away the anamorphic?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. How often will I be using that? I don't do anything cinematic. Anything cinematic I don't put on my channel. I just kind of keep it or share it with the family or whoever it's for, if I'm doing it for somebody else. So yeah, I mean, it won't get used much. I'd rather give it to somebody who would appreciate it and use it more. I mean, I didn't pay for them. That's $125 giveaway right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty expensive giveaway. So no.
Tom, do you have? Are you on Facebook? Do you see me on Facebook? I tell you what. Let's keep it real simple. Email me. QCguy.chris, CHRIS, @gmail.com. QCguy.chris@gmail.com. Email me there and just say, hey, I'm Thomas, whatever. Tell me what filters you won and give me your address. And if you don't live somewhere where it's expensive shipping, I'll just ship them to you. If it's going to cost a little more in shipping, then I'll split the shipping with you. So same with you, David. Send me your email you or message me your address as well. Even though I know I've used your address before, but I don't keep an address book of that stuff. Carolina Air Shots, how you doing? Mike Kenny, how you doing? One other thing I wanted to talk about.
Tom is in Canada.
I said hi to him earlier. One other thing I wanted to talk about was this Air 2S and the mini firmware update with this
the remote.
This whole, well, not the remote. The whole, well, actually, I'm glad you said that about the remote. Somebody said, hey, earlier in the chat, they said, would I please do a video on using the remote control with the Air 2S? There's really nothing to show you there except it binds and it works. You can't really share the screen on camera because it's hard to see that from a camera. My screen will look like that. Like that. But you'll see all white. Unless I do a screen recording, but there's really not anything to show you. It works.
I showed in my video, the video I did, just testing it out.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, when I walked around just doing my little update video talking about it, I didn't show it there. Like, I guess I could have flown with it or whatever, but I was out just doing stuff, and I was like, you know what, I didn't even plan to do that video, but I checked Facebook, and somebody sent me a message and was asking questions, and then I saw questions in one of the groups, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to walk around here and just talk about these updates. So I quickly just kind of tried to memorize what the top key components of those updates were. And the only reason I really did it was because they both involved remote ID. Now, the biggest question I get in that video, or people don't comment in that video and then just send me a private message, is why is the Mini 3 Pro even have anything to do with the remote ID? Why is that even in that update when sub 250 is left out? Well, here's my thoughts. I don't say I have a person, like everybody's got a person at DJI. My thoughts are, people do work with that drone. Part 1 of 7 guys that are working with that drone, they're going to probably need to transmit the remote ID. Or the guys that weigh them down with a ton of shit are going to have to transmit that remote ID. That's one of the things I'm thinking.
Another thing is that it does have that battery plus, which actually puts it over 250.
That's one thing I didn't think about at all. So that right there puts you over. So I never once did that cross my mind. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, I mean, are the authorities or the FAA going to come stomping out of the woods with a scale in hand? Let me weigh your shit. If they see the DJI Mini 3 is on the list of under 250 grams, and then they see that's what you're flying, they're not going, let me weigh that and make sure it's not a fucking a truck scale, People are so afraid of this remote ID, like it's the law that, can just land you in jail if you break the law. I'm not changing anything I do. And I might ruffle a lot of feathers along the way on my channel, but I am not changing one effing thing I do. There's going to be drones where the Air 2S and the Mini 3, where I went ahead and did that download for the Air 2S. I wanted that DJI RC use. I was stuck. I had to do that update. I don't care what anybody says. My opinion is that was a slick move on DJI's part. DJI is not in the great graces with the USA, and DJI getting their stuff in line quickly, doing what the FAA wants quickly ahead of all the other guys, and getting us all to march to the beat and jump right in there by giving us a little sugar on that firmware update to make us take that firmware update that so many wanted. And then the FAA will see, wow, DJI really got a lot of people into the remote ID. Puts them in a little bit of good graces, doesn't it? It makes them look good. So don't tell me, I will agree to disagree with everybody that says DJI did it like that because they have to comply by a certain date. There's still time. There's still going to be plenty more updates. There's going to probably be another couple updates. Even the remote ID is going to have updates. They didn't have to stick it in there with the biggest update I was waiting for, and a majority of people were waiting for. If you have the Air 2S and the Mini 3 Pro with that DJI RC, you were waiting for that, and you want that, and you're downloading it.
Yeah.
So,
but they would have to make it mandatory at some point. I mean, at some point, it will be mandatory for.
Yeah, but I'm willing to take that gamble. I'm willing to take that gamble of, no, I'm not going to update it as long as they're not forcing me to. Then when they come along with that update where you have no choice, you can't use the drone unless you're forced to update it. Yeah, for sure, I'm going to update it, but I'm going to take that gamble to see if they force my hand to do it. I don't give a shit if the FAA says it's law. I don't give a shit. Speed limits are law. You break the speed limit, you get busted, you get a fine. But you can't force me. No police officer sitting in my car, and they're not sticking this little device in my car and tracking my every move. So when I do go over the speed limit for more than 5 or 10 minutes, instantly in the mail I've got something. Don't need to track my drone. It's not a fucking aircraft up in the sky like an airplane or anything like that. It's a toy. It's a drone. Everything based on the FAA's list of shit for us is the keyword safety and a whole bunch of shit that's never happened. It's a bunch of what ifs and maybes and possibles and could happen, stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I can understand.
They're a very small amount of problem in the air. You have the guys that are going over stadiums, going over government facilities, stuff like that. Authorities deal with that shit. FAA, do your job and deal with that shit. You have to investigate a little bit. You have to find that person. But the rest of us don't need to be running around promoting our tail wing number and showing everybody, where we are, which that's a whole nother topic. Mm-hmm. These guys that are talking about, somebody can come out with a gun and hold me up because they know I've got thousands worth of. That's just, unless you live in a really bad area, I guarantee that's a very good possibility. But a majority of us, I see where you fly, like I saw Maddie out flying at a causeway or something right on a point, real nice place, and they got people there actually videotaping them or recording them with their phones. It was him and TJ flying. Nobody's going to come get you at gunpoint there. Nobody's coming down to the reservoir to shoot me or anything there. It's crazy. That argument, so many people love to throw out there. And, I mean, Chad, are you really worried that somebody's going to come and kick your ass or come to you at gunpoint or anything like that and steal your shit?
There's a possibility. I wouldn't say someone at this point, someone plotting to rob me or something. But, you go over somebody's house, over their backyard, you flying over their backyard or something like that, or in passing, I should say. And, they don't like drones. And they know about this app or whatever that you can look up.
How do they know about it?
That's what I'm saying. If it's
Is it transmitted on the news? Is it in the newspaper? I mean, it's not.
I'm not sure, but I'm saying
how many people go out and buy a drone, don't even know they have to register it, don't know anything about a trust test. And all the drones I fix, I hardly ever see a registration number on it. Maybe they pull that sticker off before they give it to me. Maybe they don't. Some of them come with stickers, some come with Sharpies written on them. But a majority of the drones I fix, and you guys know I fix hundreds of drones at a time. Like in a period of 6 months, I could say I can easily do 100 drones. Hardly ever do I see FAA numbers. Mm-hmm. I've sold drones to people at work. Not one of them have registered, and I tried to make it sound strict. You have to do this. You have to take that trust test. None of them have taken that trust test. None of them have registered their drones. They know about it, and they're not doing it. Mm-hmm. And a ton of people, I guarantee you, we're in communities. We're in these little YouTube communities. We're in all these Facebook communities. So naturally, everybody knows about it, and we see it. It's always around us because everybody's always talking about that stuff. There's so many people that are anti-Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, you don't know about it. Mm. That's my thing. Because if you're on Facebook, you're a big drone head, you're most likely gonna be in some sort of group somewhere, to do with your drone or some sort of community for your local area or whatever. And you're going to know about remote ID and you're going to know about registering your drone and all that. But I guarantee you a majority of people do not know about registering it, taking a trust test. They don't know what remote ID is. And then the people that don't have drones, it's going to be years before people realize, oh, man, I can make a business. Who even wants to make a business out of going robbing somebody their drone where these drones are so freaking smart that as soon as I report it, it's useless to you anyhow? Mm-hmm. Like, I would be afraid to take anything that's got GPS. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody stole my e-bike, I can track them. They're going to have to rip that thing apart because the GPS module, you can't access it. It's not something you can just get into and say, oop, unplug, GPS undone. You unplug my battery on my e-bike, that GPS has a backup battery on it, still transmitting a GPS signal. You're not going to steal anything with GPS. It's just stupid. It's stupid. So, I mean, there are stupid crooks out there, though. I'm not saying it's not going to happen at all.
Yeah, I was saying it was possible. It's possible that it could happen. Just like in 9/11. People didn't think that was possible, but it was. So, this is not on the scale of 9/11, but it's just things are possible. And just like these scammers, they think of new ways to do or to scam people.
Right.
Just people, there's people out there that just think of ways to do things and, unsavory things. So
I think it's going to
possible.
be,
And
I don't think
don't-
it's going to be crooks and things like that. I think it's going to be more Karens and Kevins or Kins or
Yeah.
whatever they're called. I think it's going to be more of that people will see than they will the crooks. I actually, I mean, I've always got a camera ready to roll if it's not already rolling. It'd make for some good footage. I mean, I'll take 5 punches just to give you one. I'm not going to give up without a fight.
I mean, I don't mind the whole remote ID thing. And the whole idea, I mean, coming from a
But you are a Part
national security
107. It's a completely different story for you. You're a Part
Yeah,
107.
but as far as
Remote
not
ID,
like
you've already got to follow a set of rules. You already have to portray yourself a
aside from that,
certain way.
Aside from that, as far as from a safety standpoint, as they say, safety standpoint, as far as
See, that's where I
national
call
security
bullshit.
type, national. No, it's not. I'm telling you, it's not. I mean,
Who's going to have it on a drone if they're doing something against national security, Chad?
It's.
You know what I mean? Like,
But
I'm going to I understand you said 9/11 happened, but that's a terrible thing to compare it to.
That's what I'm saying. It's not on the scale. It's not
on the
exact
scale. It's completely different. But if you want to go into the direction of terrorists,
there are
then yes.
things that people think about doing that you may not even think about doing. It's like things are possible that you can. There's a lot of things that are possible, and you're not going to put a bomb on a 249 gram drone, but you can get a drone that's what 100 or 1,000. What is it? What's the limit on it now? I got the Part 107. I forgot the whole limit, but you can. A lot of these drones can carry some weight. You have people flying drones in DC.
Yeah, and you got people carrying guns in D.C. too. You're not supposed to carry guns.
Yeah, I know. They're not. And people know
but
that,
here's the thing.
but they still do it.
Right, but here's the thing. These guns aren't registered. They're not going out and registering this gun and then going out and shooting somebody, and then they find this gun and see, oh, this gun is Harold Jones. Well, let's just go to his house over on Q Street and arrest him.
For what?
People that are doing terroristic things. Here's just my end of argument with you on this. My last words on it. People that are going to be doing. No, you can have the last word. This is my last word. People who are doing terroristic things with these or just super shady shit, even if I were to go out and do something super shady with it to where I know I'm going to get busted because I'm transmitting a number. I'm going to use a hack to get rid of that, or I'm going to use a drone that does not transmit remote ID. This is more so for people that are making a living. It's not so much if FAA were putting together a scale of what is the biggest concerns and all that. The safety is the big key word they like to use, but that's a psychological word for us. That's always a psychological word for us. It's just like in a place of business. Safety is always thrown out there for rules that are being implemented. So a big part of it is corporate. Corporate has gotten into the drone world. We need to kind of track that. We need to know where all these drones are. If Amazon does get real big with this, or Pizza Hut, or the United States Postal Service, whoever, if that kind of stuff gets big with it, they have to track that kind of stuff. Great. It's perfect for that. Guys out there, Part 107, doing their business for real estate and all that kind of stuff. Carrying down the streets pissed off because this guy's sitting here doing his job, filming a video in a house that's going to go up for sale or whatever. They can see, okay, here he is. Here's his number. He's Part 107. They can already do a little preliminary investigation on the pilot themselves and know about the pilot. before, authorities come out there and what the hell you doing, blah, blah, blah. Me down at the reservoir flying, me over at the park flying, me up at the inclined plane flying, me anywhere in this whole vicinity flying. Part 107, not Part 107, remote ID does not need to know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Flying out of line of sight, if it ever becomes an issue with remote ID picking that up and an authority looking at that, well, I do know that there's supposed to be line of sight and this guy's out 3 miles and they come out and bust me. That's just complete fucking bullshit, because where am I? I'm always over water. I'm always over the trees. I'm not over town. I never fly like 3, 4, 5 miles out over top of a big city or something like that. Mm-hmm. That's my whole thing with it. I don't fucking need it. I'm not saying the rules do not apply to me. I don't fucking need it. And there's a whole bunch of other people that don't need it either, that live out in the country areas and stuff like that. It's a stupid, stupid thing. If you become Part 107, I think you should have to have some sort of pod on there that is remote ID. That should be part of, if you're Part 107, doing a business, or if you're a corporation with drones or whatever, you should have to be responsible for purchasing the pod, putting it on your drone, and transmitting remote ID. It shouldn't be a whole thing where every drone we buy from here on out has Part 107. I keep saying Part 107, remote ID, and you're just forced to frickin' use it and everybody can see where you are. It's nobody's business where I am. I'm not concerned about anybody coming after me or anything like that, but it's just nobody's business where I'm at. So that's my last long words on that topic. If you want to touch base on any of that I said a mile long, go right ahead.
So,
and I'll go through comments and pop them up as you're talking.
Like I was saying, remote ID, I'm fine with remote ID, but I'm not fine with like the general public having that information. Now, as far as law enforcement, just like with your driver's license or something like that, they have access to that. They have access to, your driver's history and all that stuff. But general public, I disagree with that. And as far as regulating people who are, doing jobs, is no different. I don't think it's any different than, the people out there just, flying for a hobby. It's just, I don't understand why they would have to track us and not track someone else who's just flying.
And I think that's because you're a Part 107, and that I'm giving you a little segregation there. I'm saying that, you should have to have it, but us guys shouldn't. So if I have that argument with anybody that's Part 107, plus your government, and you're a rule follower, if you're government, then you might not, you're just not going to agree with me. Anybody that's Part 107 that I go and say that to, I guarantee they're not going to agree with me. They're going to say, no, bullshit. If I have to have it, you have to have it. I want to hear really good reasons from people why the hobby guy needs to have it.
Part 107 have to have it? They're doing
because he's out there conducting business, and the majority of the time, those type of businesses are over neighborhoods, they're over cities, they're doing things where they're around a lot of people.
But then you see people.
Majority of my flights, I'm not
over cities doing like range tests and stuff over cities, and
Right, but okay, that's where the FAA throws in the safety rule of what could happen. Name me a whole bunch of cases where some terrible tragedy or something really bad has happened where people are doing these flight range tests. Look at Philly. Look at Mikey. The guy is flying over top of buildings and all over all that shit. And fortunately, when he has gone down, he's been the luckiest person in the world to where it's on a roof or it's in a parking lot. He hasn't hit a car. He hasn't hit a person or anything like that. So even the what ifs apply to him. You can't pin anything on him that he's hurt anybody. Yeah, me driving my car and doing a California stop sign, meaning not coming to a complete stop. That's a what if, stuff like that. I I need to see drones are a problem, but for the hobby guy, these are a problem. These guys are out here crashing and causing people to have damage to their cars. They're hurting people standing at the bus stop. You see close calls, but those are always what ifs. There hasn't been an issue that has been a greater repeat topic to where I will accept the argument of a hobby guy needing to transmit remote ID. I think they jumped the gun on making that inclusion of everybody right off the bat. But it would have pissed a lot of Part 107 people off if only they had to have it. So naturally, all of us got to do it. That's my thoughts on it.
Well,
David, not everyone is a DJI, but eventually everyone has to. All these drone manufacturers have to. So how they go about making us do it is going to be as if they force us to do an update. So right now, my Autel, I don't have any remote ID on it that I know of. I haven't even checked to see if it's compatible. If they have to do a version 2 like they did the Evo 2 version 3, is it? Is that what they're calling it? The version 3? I think it's so it can be remote ID compliant, because there's a third version out now. But that tells me if that's the case, this light back here does not have it, and it will not ever have it unless they force an update on me. That's when it will have it.
And I'm looking at Eddie's comment here about NYPD. In my opinion, I think
see it.
It's up further. It's like if you scroll up from the bottom just a little bit.
I found it.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that, they'll probably use it for events. And I think the general public will use it more than law enforcement on a daily basis.
Right.
Which,
and that's,
like I said, I don't even agree with, but
that's a topic I think everybody can argue on that can agree on an argument that everybody can agree on that isn't going to be into a debate like what we're going through right here, this topic, but most people just aren't going to know about it. And I'm not writing off anybody being a serious threat that does know about it, but a majority of your people, I think, are going to be Karens and Kens or Kevins or whatever, Ks. But here, cops have enough to deal with drug problems and things like that, people's houses and properties being broken into or robbed. They don't care about a drone. They haven't had drone problems out here. If drone problems or drones are falling out of the sky downtown and causing damage and stuff on a regular basis, well, yeah, they might do a special little department for drones, and that officer or those officers' jobs are strictly to scan that and look for drones. But New York's got their hands full. Unless there is a threat. So. And if anything, you would think with your example about terrorists and planes, New York would be on high alert with anything in the sky from somebody they don't know. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I will never sit here and say that remote ID is a great idea. It's not. And enough people didn't raise hell, and enough people aren't fighting it to where it's ever going to change. It just, all these rules that came along over the past years, everybody just was like, and a lot of the people, and I'm not putting you in this category because you're 107, but a lot of our older folks, that retire, get into this hobby. The ones that start a YouTube channel and then live stream every week because they're retired, and then all of a sudden now they're drone professionals. They want to get that Part 107 so they can call themselves a drone pilot, a certified drone pilot. That's why they get their Part 107. They're not doing anything with it to make money. FAA says if you have a YouTube channel that's generating money, that's a business, and you should get your Part 107. No, it's not I don't. This is not QC Guy YouTube Incorporated. Kiss my ass. I'm not getting a Part 107 because I have a YouTube channel and because I am making money on my. I'm not making money on my channel. I give a majority of my channel stuff to charity. I make money on repairing drones. And if they ever say that's a business, I have to get a 107 for. I probably have to have a license to be a certified aircraft mechanic, for crying out loud, to work on drones. And that's the other thing. Fines. I'm going way into. We're going to go into 2 hours here. Fines. Let's get a little reasonable on these fines. I can go flying down the highway and get a ticket and spend $120 on that ticket. You do a violation with the FAA, they're instantly going to make an example out of you. And what are they, like $1,200, $1,500, $800? Some of these fines, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, if you want anybody to take you serious, give fines of like $200 for a violation for doing this, or $50 for doing this, but you want to give people fines that they can't afford to pay to begin with, and then charge them late fee after late fee to where you start looking like a frickin' loan shark, or I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah, Maddie, $1,200 fine. I mean, come on, that's stupid. That is, if I'm out flying beyond line of sight, over top of Philadelphia, $1,200, and I didn't hurt anything. I brought the drone back safely and landed. $1,200 because you saw me behind the sticks doing it, and you can prove it in a court of law. That's fucking bullshit. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's the government. Sorry. You can't say that. Chad works for the government. It's the fucking government. What do you expect?
Oh my gosh.
No, but I mean, it's overstepping. It's government overstepping. The FAA is overstepping totally with that kind of bullshit right there. So, and we still don't even know what's going on with Mikey. I mean, at this point, has he paid a dime? Is he going to end up doing jail time? What is going on there? Because he's not saying a word.
Yeah, he doesn't really say. And he just mentioned something in his video the other day that Homeland Security visited him. He mentioned it in his video, he's like so nonchalantly, but.
I mean, I know he was on an interview with somebody. Whose channel was he on? He was on somebody's channel, and he's like, "Yeah, I gotta make sure that I update the people and tell everybody that, update them on the." And never heard anything. You don't hear anything about the situation, and I mean, some of us donated some money to help you out, and I personally would like to know something. I'm not asking for anything back just because I gave you money, but I think just a nice common sense type thing to do would be to let your financial backers know something.
Yeah. Hey, Maddie, so why DOJ?
Where's that at?
Yeah, well, I guess DOJ is the bring criminal charges.
I think the DOJ are going to end up going after him. Department of Justice.
Mm-hmm. What kind of criminal charges are they going to bring against them?
Yeah, I don't know that they can really get him on criminal.
Yeah.
They have involved it for a fact. That is for a fact. That is not hearsay.
Involved the DOJ in this case.
So Maddie's got a little information there that, and I'm not going to ask you to say any more if you don't want to, Maddie, but I sure would love to know a little something about what's going on there.
So yeah, I guess the FAA is probably seeking criminal charges, and they have to go through basically DOJ.
Yeah, so he's written it off basically until they come arrest him one day.
Yeah.
And I'm not being mean towards Mikey. I mean, I can't watch one of his videos without laughing, so I'm appreciative of him for giving me a laugh. He's always a comical person. It seems like he's got a good heart. He doesn't have an easy life. But you bring things on yourself too, and I can't really feel sorry for those type of situations. So, I'm not going to go into battle with the guy over comments I've just now said about him, but he's already gotten mad at Maddie and blocked him. Got mad at, yeah, and he got mad at Maddie, and he also got mad at Dobo.
Oh yeah, I know about that beef. Yeah, but
yeah, so yeah, Dobo mentioned it on his channel. So
oh, I got something in my eye. Hold on.
Yeah, your finger.
Eyelash. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what it boils down to right there, Maddie. Actions have consequences. So, and that'll be my case too. I'm going to push the envelope with the remote ID and all that kind of stuff. I will have stuff on my channel showing that I do not have remote ID. I'm not afraid to show that, and those are actions that if I get charged with anything on, those are the consequences I'm well aware of, and if they happen, you're not going to hear me, I need money.
So your Autels and Skydios, that's what you're going to fly?
Yeah, I'll be like, I didn't get it done. I didn't get it done on the e-bike. Come spring, I'll be more than happy if they don't delay it anymore. What are we into now? What? Wait, no, actually, what? It got pushed past December now into next year, right?
What, remote ID?
There's compliance. There's compliance that's December. And yeah. I thought FAA had to be, was planning on, I assumed they were planning on having their shit show together in December. But I think actually they're now, September of next year?
Yeah, probably.
I think it's 2023. It's not 2022 at all anymore. So, but anyhow, let's say everything is in action at the end of this year. Come spring, I wanted to take the e-bike out. I wanted to go into some bike trails we have here and have the Skydio following me. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I don't need remote ID for a drone following me around on a bicycle. And you want to get me? Get me. Come and get me. I mean, I'll fight that one all day long. That's where it's completely stupid. And then if I hit somebody with the Skydio, it goes, since it's flying all by itself and just following a beacon, if it goes out of control and comes and pops some guy walking through the path on that I'm riding my bike on and hits him in the head and cuts him and he needs stitches, well, either I'm going to take care of that or I'm going to be an asshole and run like hell. But somebody's going to come, local authorities are going to come after me. If something like that were to happen, I would be a decent human being and be like, dude, we need to get you to the hospital. Let's get you some stitches. And I would take care of pain for that. But yeah, I'm gonna have stuff on my channel. And I mean, it's no different than what I'm doing now with range tests and stuff like that, range flights and stuff like that. I mean, there's still going to be things where...
I mean, that's one thing that remote ID may help out with, because it may open up beyond visual line of sight. So...
Yeah. I mean, as it should. The drone can be fully monitored. Yeah. It should open up the visual line of sight. So, how many people, like Gene just said, how many people will take your chances? Or how many people, let's just stick with that. Don't say if you are pro display my tail number for the world and for the FAA, no matter how safe it is or whatever, don't say anything. I just want to hear from the ones that you're going to hold off as long as you can. You'll take your chances. You'll get out there and fly and blah, blah, blah. Maddie, we all know you fly without a spotter. Every FAA, every FPV pilot flies without a spotter.
Yeah.
Ken's spotter is always in the car,
Yeah. Exactly.
in the AC. And you know, and I'm stupid where I say, spotter, anybody want to be my spotter? Oh, I don't have a spotter, guys. Come and get me. You know, I probably shouldn't say that in videos because that's admitting it.
Yeah.
But are they going to come after me for not having a spotter, flying my Mini 2 around some trees at a park, never going over 30 feet? You know?
Well,
that's the way I look
you
at
said a
it.
Mini 2? Oh, yeah, with the drone mask. Yeah. I mean, you can hear it, right? You can hear what it's doing.
Not really. Not when
can't?
not when I left the trees and I went up and was flying around the baseball fields. I
Oh,
couldn't
really?
hear it. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
no. Plus, I'm
Your louder, you can hear
talking.
it.
I'm talking, to, you know, and I'm not paying attention. You could tell, like sometimes when I'd get really into my talking, I'd go because I'm trying to concentrate on a turn,
Yeah.
or I'd stutter my words and go in, you know, just repeat myself and be like, all right, hold on, guys, I'm trying to concentrate here. Yeah, but I make it clear in all my videos that I am breaking the rules. Everybody knows I'm breaking the rules because I don't want to be that one that's like just trying to look like I'm trying to bullshit you and making you think that I am following those rules. And there are those that definitely do strictly follow those rules. I mean, they will not break line of sight. And for me, line of sight, I take my eyes off it for a second because that app's there for a reason. And I look back up. I don't care what color the drone is. It's not because I have bad eyesight. It blends into the sky. You got the sun and all that. It's like I can't find it. Takes a while till I can locate it.
One thing also, if you're like hovering and it's like right below the tree line or the treetops, and it kind of blends in with the trees, like when the trees have leaves and stuff on
Yeah.
it. I can never find it.
And
I
that's
always
your
have to, like,
worst.
move it up and down.
And that's your worst. Like, if they want line of sight to be you keeping an eye on the drone, really, it's just knowing where the drone is. But that's the worst place. If you have nothing but trees,
Yeah.
depth perception, forget about it. It's terrible for the best of eyesight. It's terrible. You need that app. You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
And a lot of us like to a majority of us like to get close to stuff. You like to show your subject from afar and then come into it for certain shots, or like I was doing the tree surfing. Can you imagine trying to do that? Like even if I was up higher than those trees, me trying to do that with the Avata, I would have lost it that day.
Yeah.
So, all right, I think we beat that one to death. I knew that one would take us over an hour by talking about remote ID, but when I put out the video and I mentioned about that, you know, and the way I title it and everything is how DJI was slick. That created a lot of, and I made sure I purposely put it into DJI groups because I knew it would create conflict, and that conflict create some views. So naturally, I'm going to get some much needed views that I've been lacking on my channel. So that video did a little better than some of my other videos that I've been putting out because nobody watches my free will videos and all that. You know, they get like 600 views, 800 views, and it takes a while for them to get 1,000. But that video creeped on up fairly fast from what other ones were, and it's because I put it in those DJI groups where it created the controversy. But I didn't sit there and just plant it and run away. I sat there and I went back to each person that commented towards me, wanting to battle out, you know, any type of topic about the remote ID, and made it very clear. And most everyone was, we are going to have to agree to disagree. That was the end of the comments, like, because they would go on forever. So I was like, we have to agree to disagree because I will never, ever agree with you. A lot of you are, you know, some of them I told them, I said, you're just a very submissive type and you need these rules. You need rules to follow. I don't need rules like that to follow. I need the rules of the common sense things, the ceiling and flying over crowds of people and things like that. Yeah, those are common sense rules. I don't need a lot of these other rules. I don't need the line of sight and all that kind of stuff. So, and a lot of these people that argue with you are actually certified aircraft pilots. They've been private aircraft pilots. So naturally, they're going to. You're never going to have a aircraft pilot say drones don't need remote ID, because in their thoughts, they're going to be up there flying and a drone's going to come across and they're going to hit it. Because they fly lower than a lot of aircraft and stuff like that. And around here, some of them fly way too freaking low. Way too freaking low. There's plenty of times I had to bring it down fast or get the hell out of the way because all of a sudden, it comes on through. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of helicopters around.
I rarely get the pop-up that I have an aircraft in the area. So.
Yeah. Now, is this supposed to be on? I thought it was supposed to be on the Avata, because I never see it pop up on the Avata.
I don't know. I've never seen it pop up. I've never heard one around me. So,
yeah, well, around here, it's a lot of aircraft, but I never see it pop up on the screen with the Avata, and I have it activated.
I'm sorry. It's just stupid to have it pop up on the Avata.
Yeah.
I mean, I see people way, way, way up high. I'm like, what are you doing up there, like with that drone? Especially the way the wind loves to beat that thing around. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many times have you been out there in a slight breeze hovering and you see that thing like this?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So when you're way up there, forget about it. Forget about it. It's crazy.
You can't really do precision flying with that, like in the wind. Not in the wind. No, when it's too windy.
Like before I lost it, on my SD card, I had great footage of me down at a covered bridge. And it's funny because in the covered bridge, I was constantly like this. The wind was doing this to me. As soon as I got in that covered bridge, it went whoop, it's rock steady, just perfect. And I come out of that bridge, it's like,
yeah. So. Have you gotten yours? Have you gotten it back, or have they sent it to you yet? No.
Yep. It's over there in a box. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So that's another video coming out. I did put together my search and recovery, and then just my end story of my dealings with DJI. And I think, just the ending of it is just mainly my message to people is just don't be stupid like me and make those mistakes that I made. The main mistake is, having an audible alarm that I did not use. The other was not strapping my battery in, which I normally had Velcroed in. And it's not a big stupid mistake not to use the app, but I'm going to use the app more often because I needed the flight record and I didn't have it. According to DJI, they made a special exception with the proof I gave them. What proof I was able to give them and the way I explained it was good enough for them to say, I never said I'm QC guy of YouTube and I do reviews of your drones or anything like that. I just strictly kept it at what my problem was. And they said, we'll make an exception in this case finally. And I was like, thank you. At that point, I thought, forget about it. And I had ordered one and spent over $600 on one. And it got here when they made that final decision. And then I had to get an RMA number and send the other one back. And wait for DJI to finish their end and get me one out here.
So as far as and I know we're going over, but really quick, as far as the flight logs, I thought you were able to pull up the logs in your goggles because I thought they saved the data.
I looked everywhere and couldn't. And they never mentioned to do that. I mean, I told them, I said, all I have is the footage from the goggles, and I showed them that very last seconds where it lost signal. They never asked for anything in the goggles. The only thing they asked me to do is make sure. They said that we're going to make an exception in this case. I had to pay $200. It's they gave me flyaway is what they gave me. Yeah. My one flyaway golden ticket. But later, Matt, they asked me to just go into the app and do the thing where you report it as a flyaway. That way, when you do that process, what happens is they get the notification and then they render that quad useless if found. So when they send me another one out, if I just scam them and got a new one for $200 and still have the other one, it's useless.
Yeah.
So it's good for parts except for the main board or the board. You can't use the board in it. You could use the motors. You could use your all your other parts in it, but you wouldn't be able to use where it's detectable.
So what I did was hook up my phone to the goggles without turning on the aircraft, and I was able to pull up my flight log at least.
You connected. What? Say it again.
So I connected my goggles to my phone.
Okay.
Right, and I believe that's what I did. Yeah, and I was able to go into the app and click on my flight log
Because you had the app.
because I had the app on my
Right.
phone, and it wasn't
Right.
connected to the aircraft though.
But it was connected to the goggles. The goggles is transmitting all that to your phone.
Yeah, so you saying you couldn't do that?
Yeah, you always connect your phone to the goggles, and I couldn't do that because I never connected my phone to it. You had yours hooked up to it and used the app, so you're
No,
going
this is
to
after
have
the
a flight
fact.
log.
This is after the fact. This is when I'm home,
I
just sitting
I didn't
home.
have anything,
You didn't have anything?
nothing.
Yeah, because
No.
after you made that comment, I was watching your live.
Like I tried connecting to the controller and the goggles, just trying to see if there's anything I could get on the app, and I couldn't. Could not do it.
Really?
Yep. Yep.
Because it was updated flight logs. It's not like it
Let me
was
ask you
a
this.
fast flight log.
So you had your phone and goggles and everything off. You just went into the app later. Nothing was on. You weren't connected to anything. You went into the app later, and that's when you had the flight log.
I went into the app,
goggles.
but I was connected to the goggles though. I didn't have the aircraft
But when
on.
okay, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Unless it cached.
Even when I connected to the new one, and I was like, okay, well, let me see if my old settings are all there, so I can at least check off and say 100%. I had it set to hover. None of my stuff was saved, so it's all like you're starting over again.
Yeah, okay.
Because everything from that old drone it's dead. So. But I did, Mike. I tried. I couldn't connect. It wouldn't do anything to give me that type of data. Wouldn't do anything like that. And then that whole, look at your recording from your last 10 seconds of flight before you lost signal or turned it off thing, that doesn't do anything for me either. That just shows me exactly what my drone footage showed me. So, all right, we all should be out. Everybody's going out. We all should be out.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah. You want to end on a good note here?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but this was a good one, covering a lot of stuff on my personal views and Chad's personal views, and I'm going to go back and pay more attention to the chat after the fact here and just read what some other people were saying, because I know there's a lot that I missed on that topic. But I did want to, we get sidetracked, and I did want to see how many were, going to hold out totally and wait to the last minute, and then also say how many people go ahead and say in the chat were, I'm pro for it. I want it right away, or I need this in my life, or I have no problems with it whatsoever. But we got all sidetracked and everything. So, but that's fine. The only thing that matters is my opinion and how I feel about it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And I was seeing if you were awake there.
Yeah,
If I got nothing from you right there, I was going to be like, because I could hear you clicking away and everything. And
Yeah.
All right. No, everybody's opinion matters there, and I'll debate with anybody on that. Like, have that conversation with anybody, as long as they can have an adult conversation on it. So many people get so mad, and just one guy was letting me know he was a gun-toting American, and I'm a gun-toting American and believe in my gun rights and all that, and I still think Part 107 is good for you. And he's popping up pictures of him shooting his machine gun and just stupid shit. And I was like, dude, I'm just trying to have a conversation. Like, if we were in person, we couldn't have this conversation face to face, and you not get all. People get all crazy. They take things out of context and think everybody's challenging them and wanting to fight. Mm-hmm. So, all right. And, so coming up, I'll have a video doing just my search and recovery, me walking around looking for it, showing all my methods of madness, little creative ways of just testing certain heights and things to prove that there's no way it could have flown into a tree if it did do a return to home, and things like that, which some people might find interesting, but I think there's some people that want to kind of see what I went through in that type of situation. Mm-hmm. And then I want to do a video of my list of must-haves for the Avata, which I have a lot of stuff for the Avata, which aren't really necessarily all must-haves, and I'll make that point clear as well. And then I have to do 3 hard cases, and then give 2 away to 2 of you lucky subscribers.
Nice.
And for that, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but we're going to make that one. We're going to make that one a little more creative or interesting. Like, we might make that a video entry or something. So, because that was fun. Having people do a video entry where they get comical and they get creative, and it can just be a short little clip, and it can be hilarious. And I can say, you know what, that one's getting the case. I like that. That was fun. So it might be something. It might be something like that. Just show me how you use your DJI. I'm not saying this is going to be it, but show me how you transport your DJI Avata. And maybe somebody will just show like a real beat up, torn up box that they have it thrown in, and knowing that they really don't, but that makes for a good video. Or somebody's using their wife's pink purse, or something, or a fanny pouch or something like that. So, but yeah, I might make it something like that. That was a lot of fun when we did that for a DJI Mini 2 or a Mini giveaway, and made for a lot of great friends. And so that's always a good time. So maybe I'll do something like that. But yeah, with that being said, go ahead. Anything you got coming up, or anything you want to say?
I'm working on my anamorphic video, and also have a couple of other things planned. And then, we got something on the 17th that we have to have done.
Yes.
We should have done.
Drone Mask 2, we can say it.
Yeah, so...
But don't buy any now, because that's stupid. They're doing pre-sales now, and we're not allowed to promote it or have affiliate links. They will not pay us if we sell a drone mask now. Mm-hmm. We can promote it now if we would like, but if we share our affiliate links, we're not getting paid. So you're not going to see us till the 17th promoting that thing, and that's when we get paid for our affiliate links. Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind. Yeah. I can actually even show it, but maybe on the next live I'll show it. Next live I'll show you a teaser of it. I can't really get into detail with it, but I can show you a teaser of it. So
I just don't understand.
They listened to people. They listened to people.
Yeah, they listen. It's just, I understand it's a mask. I mean, there's not too much detail to it, but.
And you're going towards price.
Well, I'm just saying.
You're going towards price. You and I'll have a debate next live. We'll have a debate on that whole price concept, because that's another one I will argue people to death to, is the price of that thing, and why I would be willing to pay that price. And I've already said it. I'm giving one away regardless. So if they don't give me one, they act like they're a little tighter on the wallet this time around, so they might not be offering us any for giveaways, but if they don't give me one for a giveaway, I'll continue to use the old one. I'm fine with that. I'll give mine away, and I'll either use the old one, or if I feel like I have to have the other one in my life, I have no problem paying that money for it, because My main argument is always you can use it with every quad. And people are going out with no problem whatsoever and spending $200 on a case that my $80 case equals. It does everything your case does, and it's just as hard as your case, and it's just as maybe not watertight as your case, but I'm not throwing mine in the ocean or anything, and neither are you. So, all right, let's really end it this time, okay? We are 5 more minutes until that 2 hours, so we need to do it within 2 hours. And let me just end my part in saying, Casey Henderson, don't send me 10 messages on my channel after this live. He has a complete conversation in his messages. He'll send me a message, send, and then he'll type a continuation of that message and send, and I get all these notifications. He says he's a big fan. I really do appreciate it, but always remember, comments are made just for that right there, a comment. We're not having a chat back and forth here, and comments aren't meant to be a mile long for some of you either. People that write me chapters or paragraphs, you notice it takes me forever to ever get back to you, and that's because I don't feel like reading a novel at that time when you could really tell me in 3 sentences exactly what you want to tell me. I appreciate everybody that comments on my channel, but people don't understand what comments are. You want to keep it to a paragraph, really. I mean, not a huge paragraph either. So it's okay, Casey. I'm not giving you a hard time. Well, I'm giving you a hard time, but I'm not telling you don't comment at all. So don't take it that way. All right.
All right.
You say
you
goodbye.
Serious now?
You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Got my finger on the button. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for watching another live. I'll try to come back in 1 more week and we'll do another giveaway. Peace and love.